Namaste. So I'm going to show you an abdominal exercise to tone the oblique muscles. So the oblique muscles, you have the internal obliques, these are the lower ones, and the external obliques, these are the higher ones, and they knit together to form a cross, so two diagonal lines. And it's to one side, the internal obliques, and to the other side, the external obliques, contract to rotate you to one side. Same on the other side. Once we've, it's quite a challenging exercise. Once we've contracted and toned these muscles, I'm going to demonstrate and show you a really interesting and lovely way to stretch these oblique muscles in a modified bridge pose. So let's start. So you're going to come down to lying and have the feet, a fairly good distance away from the bottom. Arms by the side of the body. And you're going to think about dropping the back of the ribs to the earth. First of all, to just look at that crunch where we work the rectus abdominis muscle. You're going to lift the arms up. On an exhale, where you drop the back ribs to the floor and you draw up through the pelvic floor, you crunch yourself up. Now, the higher you come up towards the real tips of the shoulder blades and beyond, if you can, the less strain you'll have on the back of the neck. But if you do a little chin tuck, then that will help the back of the neck, remembering to breathe. And you lower down nice and slowly. So you're going to, again, keep the lower backs rooted, and you're going to raise the right leg. And you're going to think about lengthening the leg. Or you can't see my foot, but it's still there. And then bending the knee above the hip. So the leg doesn't touch the floor, just hovers above it. You've got the lower ribs working down. And you've got some tone running up through the pelvic floor muscles. So you'll feel a narrowing between the pubic bone and the tailbone. We're going to add this onto our oblique exercise. So you're going to keep that leg in that tabletop position. Just float the arms up, dropping the arm bones down into the shoulders. On an exhalation, you're going to crunch yourself up. On that inhalation, you're going to interlink the hands behind the back of the neck. Exhale, rotating towards that right leg. Inhale, lengthening up through the left arm. And that left arm is drawing you upwards. Feel as though you're being pulled up by the wrist. Energetic line coming from that right elbow. And you lengthen that right leg. And you come back to tabletop. You keep that rotation. So think about being drawn up, not just round. Using your breath, knowing that that leg is a long lever, so it will put additional strain on the muscles that are holding you up. So the rectus abdominal muscles, the oblique muscles are the target muscles. So use your breath to lengthen and to draw back in. Lovely. Next time you're at a tabletop, come round to the centre. See if you can lift yourself up a little more. Remember to let the breath flow. Then lengthen through that right leg. Keep the leg long, lowering down to the floor. So I'm just going to creep up my mat so you can see this right foot. Now move the left heel closer in towards the bottom. And this is now where we look at that stretch to the oblique muscles. So drop the back of the ribs to the floor. And you're really going to think about this right side of the body, including the leg and the foot, being really heavy. You're going to start to tuck the tailbone under, then slowly lift up. But because this right side of the body is really heavy, think about the left hip moving up, but that right leg really heavy dropping down. And you can see I've rolled onto the outside edge of that right foot. So the left side of the body, the back of the body, the hamstrings, the glutes, the rectus spinae muscles, Quadratus lumborum working really hard to lift you up from the earth. And this is heavy. We're thinking about just getting that lovely stretch through, well, both sides actually, but really thinking of the stretch to the oblique muscles. This side, the left side of the external obliques, the right side of the internal obliques, which were contracting to keep us twisted towards that right knee. Lovely. Lowering down when you're ready to, and we need to repeat that to the other side. So let's think about doing that crunch first. So drop the back of the ribs to the earth. Use that exhale to draw yourself up. Have a few breaths here, really thinking about the base of the sternum moving towards the pubic bone. Can you come a little higher perhaps? And then use that exhale, lowering down. Keep the back of the ribs dropping down to the earth. This left leg, picking the knee up above the hip, and you can point through top of the foot if you want to, or just keep the foot soft, and you lengthen the leg and you bend the knee. So just keep the back of the ribs down. We want to try and keep a neutral spine, so you're not necessarily aggressively planting the lower back to the earth. There's a sense of the back of the ribs just in contact, dropping down to the earth. You've got lifting up through the pelvic floor, maybe wanting to engage the pelvic floor more as that leg lengthens. Quite a lot of effort needed to bend that knee. Next time you're in tabletop, you take the arms up into the air. Use that exhalation to draw yourself up. Inhale, hands to back of the head. Exhale, rotate towards that left knee. Raise the right arm, be lifted up. And then you lengthen the left leg. Bending the left leg. So you can hear in my voice, it's a lot of effort. I'm really thinking about being pulled up because I really want to keep that twist, because the target muscles are the oblique muscles, the contraction to the left internal obliques and the right external obliques, forming this contracting diagonal line. Knee bent, come to center, arms out, and you lift yourself up some more. Use an exhalation to lengthen that leg, lower the head down. Now we come to the best bit, even though it's really, really strong on the back of the right side of the body. The back of the ribs drop down, pubic bone tucks under. You think right hip up, left hip down. So strongly working. And you're thinking of a diagonal line, knee, hip, shoulder, but the left side's heavy, so you get that stretch across the abdomen, targeting, lengthening to the oblique muscles. You can, stay here until you maybe get a spasm in your bottom. Just a few more breaths, and then you're going to lower down. A good one to tone the waist. Namaste.